Ladies and gentlemen, this is like a Qantas flight. We're just waiting for the paperwork to be finished before we can taxi out to the tarmac. But we might get started while we're finishing that. Good morning to you all. We acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional country of the Kaurna people of the Adelaide Plains. We recognise and we respect their cultural heritage, beliefs and relationship with the land. My name is Tony Huey, and as Chair of the Board of Debating SA, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 2015 Debating SA Grand Final and the Year 9 Grand Final. Today is the conclusion of another terrific and very busy season of competition. I thank and commend all debaters who have taken part throughout this season, and I hope that you've learned about and improved your skills in the art and craft of debating. I hope too that you've also enjoyed working with your colleagues and that you've had a lot of fun along the way. Debating SA is and remains totally committed to promoting and supporting debating as a very valuable and worthwhile skill for our young people. This year we've had a record 196 teams representing 56 schools across the government, Catholic and independent sectors. We're honoured to have the support and patronage of the Governor of South Australia, His Excellency Hugh Van Lay. All teams taking part in today's Grand Finals will be presented with a medallion of recognition at a ceremony, and the details will be advised as soon as possible. We're still finalising those. Sincere thanks to James Tran and Sonia Lowen in particular for their unstinting commitment and hard work in organising and running our program, as well as providing enormous training and resources for our schools. We thank the army of parents, coaches, teachers, adjudicators, families and helpers who have provided invaluable support in many ways for all of our debaters. We thank all of our host schools for so generously making available their facilities and staff so that we can actually hold the debates. We're very grateful to the Honourable David Spears, Member for Bright, along with his parliamentary colleagues, for kindly and generously facilitating the use of this facility today. And on a glorious sunny spring day in Adelaide, what better place to be to hear our top debaters than in this, our House of Assembly chamber in the Parliament of South Australia, which stands as a wonderful and powerful symbol of democracy, free speech and of course debate. All the very best to our two Grand Final teams today in Year 9. I'm sure we're in for a very enjoyable and a very engaging exchange. So without further ado, let the debate begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patrick Russo, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2015 Year 9 Division Debating SA Grand Final debate. The topic of this debate is that the search for extraterrestrial life is a waste of money. Hoping to convince you of the truth of this morning's topic is the affirmative team from Rostrevor College, consisting of Patrick Moller, Luke Valenti and Cyril Sargent. Trying to show you that this morning's topic is false is the negative team from Pembroke School, consisting of Zoe Tan, Eleanor McLaren and Alice McKay. This grand final debate will be judged by a panel of 5 adjudicators, who are Miss Alicia Yan, Mr. Sean Cullen Nupskull, Mr. Patrick Mortitz, Mr. Mitchell Bronker and Miss Talia Admiral. Speaking time for this debate is 5 minutes. A single warning bell will sound at 4 minutes and a double bell will sound at 5 minutes. If required, a continuous bell will sound 30 seconds after the second bell, indicating that the speaker must conclude their speech. I will ask that all mobile phones and other electronic devices be switched off for the duration of this debate. I declare this debate open and call upon Patrick Moore to open the affirmative's case.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For centuries, man has gazed at the stars and pondered the questions. Are we alone? Is there anything else out there? Is the grass greener on another nebulous? However, while these are all good questions, let's consider some other examples. Rhetoric. How do we abolish AIDS, Ebola and cancer? How can we strengthen, feed and educate humanity? What efforts can we all make to bring peace to our globe? Friends, our topic for the debate today is that the search for extraterrestrial life is a waste of money. A notion that we in the red and black strongly agree with. We, with support from the Oxford English Dictionary, define search as to examine a place, vehicle, or person thoroughly in order to find someone or something. Extraterrestrial as a hypothetical or fictional being, plant or animal from outer space. Waste as to use or expend carelessly, extravagantly, or to no purpose. And money as the assets, property, and resources owned by someone or something. Which placed cohesively means that the process of examining outer space for hypothetical fictional beings, plants or animals is a careless, extravagant use of assets, property and resources. Today I'll be discussing our global context and issues, the finance involved and the minuscule chance we actually have of finding anything. Our second speaker, Luke, will convey concerns regarding colonisation, the ozone layer and more worthy causes of the billions being spent. And Cyril will discuss humanity's limitations before rebutting and summarising our case. Contextually, ladies and gentlemen, we need to carefully consider the facts before unpacking the topic at hand. We, on the affirmative, do not wish to condemn, limit or halt scientific research, but it would certainly appear that there are major concerns that we should be prioritising on our own planet before maybe finding ET. According to worldvision.org, the top 3 humanitarian crises for 2015 alone include the Nepal earthquake, the Syrian refugee crisis, and the West African Ebola outbreak. Each of these incidents demanded the attention of human beings and human leaders working together. However, others would prefer to stare through a telescope to look for other problems in other worlds. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, in addition to not prioritising our global issues, the searching process demands an obscene amount of time, research and money. According to The Guardian, NASA's annual budget is just shy of $20 billion annually and makes up nearly 40% of America's scientific research budget. Interestingly though, according to Cornell University, NASA have admitted that they are actually $500 million over what their requested budget was for 2015. However, and I quote from Cornell, NASA are happy to pocket the extra money. Friends, it has been widely documented, but the New York Times asserts that $30 billion could end world hunger. Ask yourselves, where would you spend the money? Furthermore, consider the 2022 mission to Europa, where the primary goal is to determine potentially habitable environments. This joint NASA and European Space Agency project is still in the planning stages, but according to the European Space Agency website, the expected total cost is $5.7 billion. Would this money not be better spent on our own planet? Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the money is wasted on searching for extraterrestrial life, as scientists have proven there's only a minuscule chance of finding anything. According to Britannica.com, in 1960, American astronomer Frank Drake formulated an equation to calculate detectable unknown civilizations. He, along with more recent research from American physicist Paul Horowitz, has generated the figure that the modest number of maybe 1,000 civilizations might exist in the Milky Way galaxy, which is approximately 100 to 120,000 light years away and is composed of nearly 250 billion stars. Friends, simple maths determines that as the 0.0000009% chance of discovering anything at all. However, what we do know, ladies and gentlemen, based on ongoing statistics from worldometers.com, is that there is a 100% chance of nearly 40 million people becoming infected with HIV/AIDS this year, and over 30,000 people will starve to death every single day. Friends, reflecting on my earlier questions, no one can ever know the true answers. However, instead of wondering what the galaxy holds and if an alien race might be able to communicate with us, can we not take a minute and let ourselves learn to control and nurture our own world first? We, in the red and black, think it's clear that we need to stop staring at the stars and start dealing with what is in front of us. Thank you.
I call upon Zoe Tan to open the negatives case.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for today's debate is that the search for extraterrestrial life is a waste of money. We, the negative team, strongly disagree with this statement. Our team disagrees with the definition put forward by the affirmative team. We define extraterrestrial life as living organisms that originate from outside planet Earth and its atmosphere, and also as life ranging from replicating bacteria to intelligent alien-like creatures. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that the search for extraterrestrial life is a costly endeavour and the money would be better spent elsewhere. This is a misguided point because yes, the word waste implies an opportunity cost to the endeavour of searching for extraterrestrial life, but there is an opportunity cost to all human endeavours, be it funding the arts or paying for the defence of our country. The key question is whether the intrinsic value and dividends derived from the search for extraterrestrial life is worth the opportunity cost. Ladies and gentlemen, I am certain that the inherent value and spin-offs of the search for the extraterrestrial life will far outweigh the modest opportunity cost. Eleanor, our second speaker, will elaborate this further in her arguments. Today I will explain how the search for extraterrestrial life is not a waste of money because it is a fundamental human nature to be curious and to explore. I will also point out how the quest for life in space is not a waste of resources because the scientific knowledge we gain from the exploration will benefit everyone, even smaller countries. Our second speaker, Eleanor, will justify the search for extraterrestrial life by talking about the many technological spin-offs that arise from space exploration. She will then explain how the discovery of alien life will profoundly change how we view our universe. Our third speaker, Alice, will rebut the affirmative team's arguments and sum up our case. Now to my arguments. Firstly, the search for extraterrestrial life is not a waste of money because it is a key human instinct to be curious, to be risk-takers, and to explore beyond our horizons. The very success of human evolution is predicated upon our inquisitiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, may I remind you that we would not be standing here today in all our comfort and security if it weren't for the curious and exploring instincts of our forebears. It is why we are the most successful creatures on Earth. Sir Isaac Newton, one of the most brilliant mathematicians, astronomers and physicists, once said, "What we know is a drop, what we don't know is an ocean." His curiosity led him to many discoveries about gravity and time and motion in space. This is a perfect example of a pure science-based quest not governed by cost. The search for extraterrestrial life is not a waste of money, as humans will never cease to explore. Curiosity is one of the organic building blocks of human knowledge and advancement. It drives us to learn about phenomena in life and leads to the eventual mastery of our destiny. Secondly, the quest for extraterrestrial life is not a waste of money because the scientific knowledge and technology gained will benefit all humankind, not just specific spacefaring countries. The search involves multinational collaboration among scientists who build upon each other's work, achieving complex discoveries that one simply cannot achieve on their own. Hence, the benefits of resources spent by one scientist is multiplied manifold. Such efficiency hardly represents a waste. The search for extraterrestrial life also enables the involvement of smaller countries, which would otherwise not be independently involved at all. For example, Australia's unique stargazing position in the Southern Hemisphere has given us the rare opportunity to receive technology transfer from the USA and Europe. This includes radio telescope technology and instruments. The Parkes Observatory in New South Wales is playing a pivotal role in the search for life in space. It recently signed a multi-million-dollar contract with Russian billionaire Yuri Milner. It allows us to scan for radio waves for intelligent extraterrestrial life. Our brightest minds in Australia are being given the opportunity to further develop their expertise and knowledge in astronomy, physics, and engineering without going abroad permanently. This exploration for extraterrestrial life is an inclusive journey. It is not a waste of money because the benefits outweigh the costs and the risks, especially the benefits of shared scientific knowledge worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, the quest for extraterrestrial life is not a waste of money because it is the logical progression of the evolution of human civilization. It is profoundly crucial to our advancement and survival. We cannot let the issue of money stop us from quenching our thirst for knowledge and suppressing our curiosity. Carl Sagan, a well-known American astronomer and astrobiologist, once said that exploration is in our nature. We began as wanderers, and we are wanderers still. We have lingered long enough on the shores of the cosmic ocean. We are ready at last to set sail for the stars. Thank you.
To continue the affirmative case, please welcome Luke Volunteer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you have already heard from the speakers before me, the topic of debate tonight is that the search for extraterrestrial life is a waste of money. We, the affirmative, agree with the topic at hand. Before I unpack my own points, I would like to firstly rebut some of the flaws we have found with the negatives case. The first speaker has stated that it is fundamental for humans to explore and be curious. We acknowledge that many of us in this chamber would not be here if it was not for the efforts of Captain Cook and others. However, the Indigenous Australians who were forcibly removed from their own land may have a different perspective. The negative team have suggested that it is our own planet which is flawed. What is there to suggest that these planets are in a worse state than our own? The first negative speaker has also said that the search for extraterrestrial life will benefit everyone involved. What if we spend all our time and money looking for extraterrestrial life only to find that they don't have ears or mouths and are unable to communicate with us? Will that benefit our human race? Now on to my points. Firstly, it is a waste of money searching for extraterrestrial beings, as a brief look into our history of colonisation and even current affairs suggests that the human race is not a peaceful one. Let's use our own country as an example. Between 1788 and 1900, the Aboriginal population was reduced by 90%, chiefly due to European settlers. Three main reasons for this, according to Britannica.com, were the introduction of new diseases, loss of land, and loss of people through violent conflicts. The most immediate consequence of British settlement was the appearance of diseases. Most were epidemic diseases such as chickenpox, smallpox, influenza and measles, which were infectious and killed thousands. Ironically, theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking in 2010 warned that humans should not try to contact alien life forms. He warned that aliens might pillage Earth for resources, stating, "If aliens visit us, the outcome would be as much when Columbus landed in America," which didn't turn out very well for the Native Americans. By looking for extraterrestrial life forms, we will be opening a Pandora's box of unpredictability and potentially compromising our own safety. Secondly, one need only look to the ozone layer when considering our current track record of human relationship with outer space. According to science publication Helix, Earth's temperature has risen between 0.4 and 0.8 degrees over the past 100 years. The increased volumes of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases released by the burning of fossil fuels, land clearing, agriculture, and other human activities are believed to be the primary sources of global warming that have occurred over the past 50 years. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change have recently predicted that average global temperatures could increase between 1.4 and 5.8 degrees Celsius by the year 2100. Changes resulting from global warming may include rising sea levels due to the melting of the polar ice caps, as well as an increase in the occurrence and severity of storms and other severe weather events. Our own planet should be our number one priority. The negative team may suggest it's time to literally jump ship due to these concerns, but we think we should make all possible efforts to preserve Earth rather than venture into the unknown. Finally, whether we accept that extraterrestrial life does exist or not, there are significant pragmatic concerns we have, such as communication and travel limitations. New York Times author Dennis Overby wrote on July 20 this year that Dr. Drake, a professor at California University, started it all in 1960 when he pointed a radio telescope at a pair of sun-like stars, hoping to hear a hello. He heard nothing, which has pretty much characterised the effort ever since. Overby goes on to say that despite our latest advancements in technology, it has cost an incredible monetary figure for NASA alone of $790 billion since 1958, and we have still only explored a minuscule area in a cosmic haystack. Friends, we simply do not have the necessary technology to reach such planets or stars that are light years away regardless. It appears phoning ET has yielded nothing more than that call waiting and a very serious phone bill. So in conclusion, we should most definitely not search for extraterrestrial life, as it is a massive waste of money that could be spent on saving our planet. Additionally, those who have been in power of the human race have only sought methods of conquering and capitalising, so why should we feed this mentality? I will leave you with a quote from Stephen Hawking. We are in danger of destroying ourselves by our greed and stupidity. We need to improve our small and increasingly polluted and overcrowded planet. Ladies and gentlemen, ET can wait. We have much bigger fish to fry. Thank you.
To continue the negative case, please welcome Eleanor McLaren.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, ladies, gentlemen, and opposing team. The topic for this debate is, the search for extraterrestrial life is a waste of money. We, the negative team, believe that this statement is false. Before I begin my arguments, I would like to point out some flaws in the affirmative team's case. The second affirmative speaker has tried to rebut the fact that everyone would be involved in the search for extraterrestrial life by saying that it would not benefit society if we find life that cannot communicate with us. Ladies and gentlemen, if we do find life that cannot communicate with us, we will still learn so much from these creatures. We are still expanding our knowledge. The affirmative team has told you that Stephen Hawking believes that there are a number of issues that could arise from trying to make contact with extraterrestrial life. I would like to rebut this by saying that Stephen Hawking is also funding a $100 million search for extraterrestrial life, along with Yuri Milner, entitled Breakthrough Listen. Obviously, he understands the potential risks associated with this, has assessed it, and sees the value of learning more about our universe despite the possible risks. He declares that it is critically important that we search for extraterrestrial life, and that it is a very worthwhile cause that we need to have, and we need to spend money on it. The second affirmative speaker has told you that we should focus on eradicating global warming and other issues instead of searching for extraterrestrial life. This is false because searching for extraterrestrial life could actually be a way of solving this problem. Should we find an inhabitable planet, we could send people there and lessen the impacts of a large population on Earth. Today, I will be talking about how much we can develop our knowledge of Earth and the solar system if we discover extraterrestrial life in any form, and how our civilization has gained so much in the past from discoveries made related to our attempts to explore the solar system. Now to my first point. Research for space exploration in any form has been pivotal in critical discoveries of our recent history. Let us consider what we gained from equipping our astronauts and spaceships with the technology necessary to carry out moon landings and other unmanned spacecraft landings. Scratch-resistant glass, which makes up the screens for our modern smartphones, and the lenses in reading glasses, was invented by NASA's Ted Weineman while he was attempting to construct a water filter for a spacecraft. Polyurethane was originally formulated as a mechanism to lessen the impact of a spacecraft landing. Other inventions that were the result of space travel research include freeze-dried food, infrared ear thermometers, artificial limbs, smoke detectors, and light-emitting diodes, more commonly known as LEDs. Without our history of venturing into space, we would have none of the aforementioned inventions. Continuing the search for extraterrestrial life would drive the kind of scientific research that develops innovations such as these, benefiting all of humankind. It becomes clear that we are not wasting money on this quest when we reflect on the past achievements that space exploration and the search for extraterrestrial life has brought us. This leads me on to my next point concerning what we could gain from finding extraterrestrial life. As my first speaker Zoe already explained, we define extraterrestrial life as anything living, ranging from the smallest possible organism to a fully fledged civilization. Finding even a form of bacteria or a plant could teach us so much. Professor Stephen Dick, a historian and astronomer from NASA, says the discovery of microbes in space would be a profound shift for science. He said, if we found microbes, it would have an effect on science, especially biology, by universalizing biology, and therefore universalizing a whole branch of science, surely a worthwhile investment in our future. We could find cures to diseases, a solution to climate change, or we could find a planet that we could send people to should Earth become less inhabitable in the future in the case of major conflict or environmental deterioration. Finding a civilization or the remnants of one would no doubt give us invaluable information about what could lead to our extinction in the future and methods of its prevention. The quest for knowledge is always worthwhile and surely worth every dollar invested. Ladies and gentlemen, opposing team, and Mr. Chairman, the search for extraterrestrial life is quite clearly not a waste of money. Professor Dick, whom I referred to earlier, said, in the past decade, organisms have been found thriving on our own planet in bizarre, hostile environments. If microbes can live in the pores of rock deep beneath the surface, or at the rim of a scalding Yellowstone spring, then they might find a place like Mars not so shabby. So let's continue the search and see what's out there. Thank you.
To conclude the affirmative's case, I call upon Cyril Sargi.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The search for extraterrestrial life is one that has been going on for more than 60 years, one with many minimal results. Currently, NASA receives $20 billion worth of research money from the US government. On top of this amount, countries just like our very own are spending millions, even billions, supporting this type of research. In recent times, media outlets such as the New York Times and The Guardian have labelled this research wasteful and unnecessary. Just like these media outlets, we on the affirmative team most strongly believe that the search for extraterrestrial life is a complete waste of money.
Now, I would like to point out some of the fallacies in the opposing team's points. The first affirmative speaker has wrongly stated that the opportunity cost of finding extraterrestrial life is worth the chances and money being spent. This statement is clearly false, because with over 60 years of research, and according to Stephen Hawking, a 0.0000009% chance, this is a risk not worth taking. We should make changes to benefit our lives, the health and sustainability of the world that we live in, which right now is in 100% risk. She has also made the false statement that it is human instinct to want to search for the unknown, to come to mastery of our knowledge. Yes, this may be true, but did you know, ladies and gentlemen, we know, according to the New York Times, we know more about space than we do know about our ocean. Just think about it. We know very little about this planet, and space research is pulling away from this issue. Coming back to the affirmative team's point of using the smart people we have on this earth, well, maybe we need to use the smart people to develop our world. How can we put space exploration ahead of our people? She's also made the false argument that through space research, many developments have been made for society. Ladies and gentlemen, with all the billions of dollars being spent on these outcomes, over time, we would have found and made developments. $18 billion is far too much money to make small changes. We should spend on research for the benefit of this world. One, inquisitiveness should not be limited to outer space. Second negative speaker stated that because Stephen Hawking is supporting this $100 million research, it becomes very reliable. Those involved in space research, such as Sir Richard Branson and Stephen Hawking, are looking to seek life forms that are unknown and will commit hundreds of millions to do so. It seems that these men who have conquered everything of Earth are selfishly attempting to capitalise. The second affirmative speaker stated that the most cutting-edge technology comes from space research. Well, ladies and gentlemen, most cutting-edge technology that we have developed did not come from extraterrestrial research, just like stem cell research, organ transplant and cochlear implants, to name a few. We need to channel money into specific areas so we can make developments that are beneficial for our world. Now, I would like to reiterate some of our team's points. Our first speaker, Patrick, has most eloquently presented the argument that the billions of dollars being wastefully spent on extraterrestrial research should be spent on providing for the world that we live in. According to government sources such as USA.gov, the billions of dollars being spent on this type of research is enough money to provide for 2/3 of the world's population. He's also stated that these research institutions are being completely overfunded. Our second speaker, Luke, has added on to these points by presenting the idea our current treatment of ourselves, the globe and the ozone layer is terrible. Additionally, according to the Whitburn Project, planets that are only 5 light years away are still listening to radio waves blasting out Lady Gaga's Born This Way song from 2011. Just imagine what will happen if we add another 100 to the number of light years away. How are we supposed to communicate? Finally, our human existence that is slowly destroying our planet gives us no right to look beyond our Earth to continue our selfish ways. Yes, we are causing damage to our ozone layer. Yes, we are pushing climate change. And yes, we are facing huge social issues. But ladies and gentlemen, we cannot give up on Earth. It is not too late to save ourselves from this predicament. And the money being spent on maybe finding life out there should be spent on preserving the beauty and sustainability of this Earth for the rest of time. The time we are wasting on extraterrestrial research is slowly taking away our chance to stay on this beautiful planet. Ladies and gentlemen, the facts are here. Space research is a complete waste of money and is blinding our scientists and government issues from the real issues of this world, such as poverty and food security. We need to stop staring at the stars and start staring at what is in front of us. Thank you.
To conclude the negative case and this morning's debate, I call upon Alice McKay.
Mr. Chairman, fellow debaters, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for this debate is that searching for extraterrestrial life is a waste of money. We, the negative team, strongly believe this is untrue. This morning, as third speaker, I will sum up the case of my first and second speakers. However, firstly, I would like to point out a few flaws in the affirmative team's argument. The third speaker from the affirmative team tried to rebut Zoe, our first speaker's points by saying that we are spending more money on searching for things in space than the ocean, which is out on our own planet. This is the complete wrong attitude to take. Space exploration and searching for extraterrestrial life is about investing money and time in increasing our knowledge about the world and the universe in which we live, as Zoe talked about. It is simply not an either-or situation. We absolutely believe in continuing to search our oceans, but this should in no way be the alternative to searching the universe. Obviously, searching our own planet is cheaper. However, this is in no way a replacement and will not have the same effect on searching for extraterrestrial life. The third speaker from the affirmative team tried to rebut Eleanor's point by saying that the technology invented for us in space for space travel is not that important. This is wrong, as we simply cannot put a price on the discovery of the things Eleanor mentioned, like scratch-resistant glass and shock-absorbent shoes. Searching for extraterrestrial life obviously is expensive. However, we have already seen the result of some of these inventions and the way they have revolutionised everyday objects like smartphones and even shoes. The search for extraterrestrial life is absolutely key to adding more to our own planet. The second speaker from the affirmative team tried to rebut our points by saying that global warming is a dangerous issue and so therefore we should not aim to search for extraterrestrial life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly why we should search for extraterrestrial life. The continuation of searching space has the potential to unlock so many possibilities. As Eleanor already told you, as a result of this, we have discovered large-scale technology that has reshaped our planet. The second speaker also tried to tell you that we shouldn't be aiming to expand our own world and widen our barriers when there are so many issues with Earth. This is the complete wrong state of mind to have. The information that we might gain from what lies beyond may be the learning we need to turn our world around, making it a better place. Consider what we have already achieved through space exploration, and even just sending people to the moon in 1969. Velcro, the camera iPhone, and even rubber-based shoes were all the result of this, and Eleanor, our second speaker, spoke about this in more depth. We are not saying that inventions like these have made the world a better place by themselves, but then look at some made more recently from space travel. For example, companies are now considering mining metals such as iron in space, and there are so many other resources in space that could just as easily become available, and the technological advances are just around the corner. Imagine what this could do for us. We would have this opportunity to have the resources become available for everybody, as Eleanor told you. We strongly believe the answer to many of our problems actually lie in space exploration. The first speaker from the affirmative team tried to tell you that there are much better things to spend our money on, such as finding a cure for Ebola and AIDS and solving poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, this again is exactly why we should continue our exploration of space. It is only by navigating our world and the world beyond that we can have the perspective we so desperately need to understand and value our world. Maybe the solutions to the problems we face, such as poverty, which, may I add, cannot simply be solved by throwing money saved from space exploration at people living with it, are out there, just out of reach from our telescopes, and one step away from being utilised by humans. Other issues, such as war or peace, are not able to be solved with more money, may I add. However, such organisations as NASA and the project set up by Stephen Hawking agree. We can only find these solutions if we look in places we haven't already done so. Both searching for extraterrestrial life and space exploration are not wastes of money, and the vision that this could be spent on other things is unrealistic. Zoe, our first speaker, spoke about how it is the nature of humans to be curious, and funding this curiosity has resulted in new discoveries and the gain of scientific knowledge. Zoe also talked about the fact that science includes everybody, and with increased globalisation, scientists are building on each other's knowledge. And this could have incredible repercussions for us as a human race. Eleanor, our second speaker, told us about the process of preparing for space and that companies like NASA have invented countless things that make our everyday lives easier. As a result of searching for extraterrestrial life, we have had the opportunity to develop more technology like the one she spoke of. Eleanor also talked to us about the many benefits of searching for extraterrestrial life and the things it could bring us if we were actually to find it. She talked about how this could easily lead to finding a cure for diseases and even a solution to climate change. These finds would all be absolutely priceless. In conclusion, I would like you to imagine our race here on Earth in our tiny corner of an infinite universe, having no idea what else is out there. To satisfy mankind's age-old curiosity and thirst for knowledge, it is absolutely imperative that we continue to search for life. As the great Stephen Hawking once said, it surprises me how disinterested we are about things like physics, space, the universe, and the philosophy of our existence. It's a crazy world out there. Be curious. Thank you.
Just before the results are announced, can I just say that at the conclusion of the debate, once the results are announced, there'll be an opportunity for each team to be photographed firstly by Debating SA, and then if teachers and coaches would like to come and join them for a photo and be photographed, you're very, very welcome to do so. I think you'll agree that today was an outstanding quality debate. I congratulate all debaters on the fine work that they've done in preparing for what was a very challenging and a very interesting and I think thought-provoking debate. So before we get the result, let's congratulate both teams.
I call upon a representative of the adjudication panel to come forward and award the debate.
Again, thank you very much to both teams today. It's been a pleasure as one of the adjudicators seeing both teams get to this stage throughout all the rounds. As in accordance with our policies on grand final debates, the panel gets to decide through a majority basis, and I can say today, that decision was split 3-2 in favour of the negative. Well done. Adjudicators also gets to give out a debating award today, and the panel has decided to award that to Eleanor McLaren. Well done.
I call upon a member of the runner-up team from Rostrevor to give a vote of thanks.
On behalf of Rostrevor College, we'd like to thank Pembroke for putting up a fantastic debate. You guys had really strong points and spoke really well. I'd like to thank the audience for coming out every single week and supporting us. The adjudicators for providing us with amazing feedback throughout the season, and the chairman and timekeeper for running our debate really smoothly, and Debating South Australia for really helping us develop our speaking. Thank you.
I call upon a member from the winning team from Pembroke to second that vote. Thanks.
I'd just like to thank everyone for coming out today and supporting us, also the adjudicators. Thank you. I'd also like to thank the chairperson and timekeeper and also Debating SA for organising the event. Thank you. And also the affirmative team, you guys did really well.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attendance. I now declare this debate closed.